chamber right there, this is no bull. This is real.
I'd say it's reality. If gangster is reality, I guess that's it. Gangster. It's cool. I never intended to rap in my life. I had a little money. I started a record company and ended up rapping about stuff that I've been through. Dre was good as a producer. Ice Cube was a good writer and rapper. Randy was a strong rapper and writer. And Yellow was a producer. And then myself. We had everybody from New York rapping about my Adidas and my chain, this and South Bronx and everything. I wanted to put my city on the map. I'm from Compton. I know about Compton. This is what I've been through. This is what I want to rap about. So we formed N.W.A. We just took it to another level and just told it how it was, without holding back. It's no different than the news. The news, we just telling it like it is and not holding back and using the explicit lyrics. It's like being an underground reporter. I've been through all the stuff, whether it was a dope dealings.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome to RNC Radio, the podcast. I'm Justin, and I am joined by a ghost. I can't even believe he's here in front of us in a physical form. Josh Pease is here.
Hey, man, I'm back. Ghost, no power.
And now it has been about 3 months since we've done RNC Radio.
Folks, we won't leave you like this ever again. I'm sorry.
The last episode we did was from this. It emanated from this very place. We had the N.W.A Carrots episode, and thanks to everybody who listened to that months ago. And then since then, it's been radio silent. It's been we don't really know what happened there. As
Birdman says, we were on hiatus.
That was the longest hiatus, and since then, I mean, it hasn't been all sad. Since then, we've grown as a brand, just based off of like RNC Radio was one of the second shows that we made for this brand, and we've grown. And like, how do you feel about the growth of RNC in our absence?
The growth is amazing. We've got 4 new shows,
4 or 5 new shows, yeah.
4 new shows, new playlists. I'm super proud and excited about the N.W.A Million playlist, Millie. I just think that's just a dope little platform for the underground and to show what we're really listening to and what we really like. So look out for that in the coming weeks.
No, it's out.
Oh yeah, it's out, but updated next month, I think.
Yeah, updated next month. It is a Spotify exclusive playlist that features all these songs on the playlist are under 1 million plays.
Yep.
So this is it could be literally anyone, but it has to be under 1 million plays. That is the rule. And check that out and see, what songs did you like, what artists did you feel like we missed, and we'll take that into consideration for next month's update. But that's just an example of what we do here at RNC Radio. And now with that, we are back on the official flagship RNC Radio podcast. It went weekly, then we went bi-weekly, then we went monthly. Now are we tri-monthly?
I don't know, man. We got to get on the schedule.
We're like whatever monthly.
We're taking it a step at a time.
Yeah,
we're here right now.
One step at a time. And of course, it's me and Josh Pease. We also have another guest here. He's going to be running the boards for us, so to speak. Our guy, Cam Hay. What's going on, brother?
I'm feeling good. How y'all doing?
You're talking way too low. Why are you trying to hit the sexy voice?
I'm not even gonna front. That was a very Hulk Hogan, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
I'm doing good, man. I'm straight.
We'll be doing fact checking because we're actually gonna be doing a historical episode here.
Okay.
Just talking about really kind of the movement and the creation and the legacy of N.W.A Straight Outta Compton album. It's only right that we be in LA talking about this. And on the day that it comes out, the day this comes out will be the 8th. And that's going to be the day that Straight Outta Compton actually came out in stores in 1988. Big day for hip-hop. And so if we say anything wrong, we fuck up anything, we get some numbers wrong, hey, I need you to help me out here.
Got you.
Okay, cool. So, just before we do that, just some little small banter stuff. Have you listened to Astroworld, Josh?
I have. I like it. It's funny. It kind of it was one of those slow burners that had to grow on me, but I've listened to it throughout the weekend. I keep coming back to Yosemite. That's my favorite song.
That song is good. That's the first song I played when I got my car this morning. That song, it's the beat sticks in your head. Yeah. And I got shout out to Turbo because he always has those acoustic guitar beats that
yeah, that's damn near a country song.
Yeah, it is.
Keep for the buck. So
I feel like Sold Out Dates is like a jazz song too. Sold Out Dates is a really good song. That's another Turbo beat. Oh, okay is kind of from Drip Season 3 is another example of a beat that has he's just always got these acoustic guitar beats I wonder if he plays those in house.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe it's Q Beats because everybody's got the Q Beat sound pack these days. But yeah, shout out to Turbo. That song is. I mean, shout out to Gunna. That's the person who deserves the most praise for that track. I think just the way he sets it off. I guess his verse is considered a chorus, but that's a verse.
That's a long ass chorus.
Hey, that's a verse to me. He kind of gassed that song.
And the way that he and Travis kind of weave in and out of that song is kind of like, wow, like he's finally made it there. You know, and it's a lot different than when like Thug and him kind of go back and forth. It's like, okay, you're seeing Gunna next to what? I mean, hate it or love it, he's like Travis is now considered a top tier talent. He's a guy now, you know. And Astroworld is projected to do at least 450,000 units. By the time this comes out, it could be 500K because of a new form of kind of promotion and release that they're doing now, where they're releasing the album with merch. So every piece of merch that you release comes with a copy of the album. And correct me if I'm wrong, every piece counts as an album. So if I buy three different shirts, that doesn't count as one thing. It counts as 3 different albums.
Yeah, pure sale too. So it's like that's an album buy, a download, like not a stream.
That's crazy.
No, I mean it's funny. People have done it before. I think this idea is best suited for an artist like Travis because he's so fashionable and he has such crazy designs. So like he's literally putting out 8 pieces of merch every day for like the last how many days?
It's a week.
At the end of this week.
Yeah, so for a week, 7 days, 8 pieces of merch pretty much. Probably more than that. I'm just guessing with that number, but that's amazing. That's dope. Like that's, gaming the system and really figuring out ways around the new R.A.I. or whatever the fuck
R.I.A.A.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it is.
And I think that last time we dropped was around the N.W.A. time, and they were doing merch stuff too. Yeah. But I don't think an album was attached to that. I think it was just straight merch that time. Yeah, he was
doing straight merch. I mean, his game plan wasn't even all the way together to even figure it out.
Yeah.
But, man, I think, it's a special time in music right now. So, like, every release, we're figuring out different ways to be creative and, pad the numbers. So, it's dope.
And that to me is I want to say it's a pad. I think it's a compliment to the music, because it's like it's showing not only can I sell records, but my fans will go out and buy merch. I don't know when the merch bubble will burst. I'm pretty sure
it ever will. I think the clothing bubble will burst before the merch bubble. Yeah. Like it already has. Like, back in the day, there was kids wearing Diamond Supply, the Hundreds, and the other streetwear brands that were kind of emerging in the early 2000s. And now it's like Travis Scott's a streetwear brand. Mm-hmm. Brockhampton is a streetwear brand.
Bieber was a streetwear brand.
So it's just a different. It's the same consumer, but a different product, and it's coming from a different place. And I think artists and musicians are always going to be the trendsetters and the cool guys. So like we're always going to want to dress like them and wear what they wear. So as long as they continue to pump out merch, I think it'll always be a market for that.
Absolutely. And as far as the album, I still think I like Birds better than Astroworld. I think this is probably his second best album to me.
I can't compare him yet. I got to give it a really good, clean listen all the way through. But I think for me, I feel like this is his most mature album without a doubt. Yeah. Like I feel like this is Travis Scott finally coming into his own and really speaking about topics that aren't just even though, I mean, not to say his topics were ever childish, but like now it's like, all right, he has a kid, he's kind of adjusting that a little bit. He's talking about his girl, like she's on the cover of Forbes, like it's a little more grown. Like it's a different stunt than it was the last album. Still
super nasty. It's a nasty ass album. Like there is some shit up there that I can't play around my mother at all. I'm pretty sure you can't play it around his either. But I think just as a whole, to me, what sticks out, and I think it always sticks out to me, is the production on these albums are always top notch, and it's from a group of producers. Like of course, Mike Dean is the mastermind, the sensei of all of this. But the group of producers that he actually does the music with, it's like you're hearing them on beats and you're hearing them do beats that they've never done before. And I think that's the strongest thing to me, is that he brings out the best in people in a way that I feel as though it's what I feel like Khaled used to do. And I feel like I said this before, I was like, Travis Scott is like the new Khaled, or like kind of like a compliment to a DJ Khaled, where he's like he's
more musically inclined.
Yeah, way more musically inclined. He's putting together people on these albums that you want to hear. You want to hear Gunna. I don't think on the new Khaled album we're going to hear Gunna at all. We're not going to hear Gunna. We're not going to hear new guys like Don Toliver who are on this album. We're going to hear the same. We're going to hear Quavo, Justin Bieber, and that's a formula that works for him. But I think that for Travis Scott, he's someone who's always, I think, he's one of hip hop's biggest tastemakers right now in a lot of ways. And the way that he brings everything together is a cool way to do it. But Astroworld is definitely, to me, a standout for the summer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I think Travis always had that in him.
Yeah.
Like, I think from the very start of Travis' career, he was always an executive producer, always a great A&R, and just always a good producer. So like him, you know, bringing Gunna together and putting him on that track, or bringing Don Toliver, or putting Shaq West next to
Drake and
Juice WRLD, and kind of taking these different people who are like super talented and have their sounds and bringing them together to create the Travis Scott sound is dope. Like I've always appreciated that about Travis's music. So he's just getting better and better at it. I think, you know, once he's settled and retired in his career, like he's going to be you know, L.A. Reid, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, like you know, he has a great business acumen. So far, he's been doing great in that space, and I think just the music side of it, he really knows that well. So he'll get his respect in just time.
Huge fan of that. Actually, this is breaking news. The white off-white Prestos are going to be on Nike sneakers tomorrow. So just make sure that you guys get that in.
Yes, sir.
I saw Josh looking at mine, and I knew he was upset. So
I don't. It's funny. I don't even. I don't wear.
Oh boy.
Workout shoes. So I wasn't really that juiced to get them. I mean, if I get them, I might flip them.
Boss nigga discount already. We're not even 10. Are we 10 minutes in? Are we 10 minutes? No, yeah, we're 10 minutes in. Boss nigga discount already. Cha-ching! It's already going down.
Yeah,
it's already going down. But it's been like a couple of weeks and months of us not having this show. Like a lot of new artists have emerged, like Juice WRLD. You mentioned him. He's on Astroworld as well. How do you feel about like kind of like the rise of Juice WRLD and like emo? Is it emo rap or is it?
It's funny to me. Like, first of all, I'm a Juice WRLD fan. Like I from the first couple songs I heard, I'm like, okay, like I get it. Like I think you know, the music that he's making has been bubbling for a little bit of time. Like you had kind of X making the same type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I think you know. So many
new guys.
In that lane.
There's a little Toenail. There's a whole bunch of people out there.
But I think for me, I think Juice WRLD is just way more advanced than a lot of these other guys because the songwriting is so good.
Yeah.
Like if you really study the songwriting and study this like just songs, music, like you'll see that like the melodies and the words he's putting together is just really good. So I think that's what I appreciate it. I mean, the topics are what all the current rap generations kind of talk about: Xanax and drugs and girls.
He talks about
broken.
He talks about explicitly wanting to die and overdose in these songs. And I
my thing is though, like, has the other rappers not been doing that? But they've just been doing it in a cool way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so it seems. I mean, shit. What was the Future song where he was basically talking
Coding
about
Crazy?
Yeah, like come on, like, and we love that song. So I mean, Juice WRLD's just doing what, you know, people before him been doing, but I think it's so deep and the songwriting is so good that it hits people on a different level. They're like, oh shit, this kid's really hurt.
I'm undecided on him, but I think I said this the other day in a chat. Like, I feel like he's speaking from the perspective of like someone who is addicted to this stuff and wants to get clean, or how they feel in that moment. And if that's what it is, and that's pretty poetic, that's pretty cool to me. I don't know if I like it, but like if it's helping the kids, then I'm cool with that.
I mean, I think yeah, I mean, I like it. It's funny to me, like, I honestly find myself bumping his project and just being like, just letting it ride. Like, it's
Sad
a cool
boy,
vibe.
Sad boy Josh. Never thought I'd see that.
I wouldn't call myself that. But
Sad boy Josh.
Cool.
Didn't know that.
And I will, on top of that, besides Juice WRLD just making good music, like, he really impressed me with that Westwood interview. Like, just bars. Like, I think a lot of people don't give that new generation credit for actually being able to rap. Mm-hmm. But, like, I mean, when's the Funk Flex interview? Because I'm waiting for him to go to Funk Flex and just really light it up.
Flex is not inviting Juice WRLD, yo.
Why not?
Because he's only, like, I feel like Flex will only go towards you that way if you're already positioned that way.
We'll let G Herbo walk him in.
And then walk away. Isn't G Herbo his manager?
Nah, Lil Bibby.
Lil Bibby's the manager.
Bibby.
Yeah, Lil Bibby's
the manager.
manager.
Speaking of G Herbo, so that's another project that dropped recently that I've been playing.
Swervo.
Yeah, dog. I like G Herbo. I like Southside. I don't know if that's the best combination, but I do think like there's some songs in there are dope. I just want to hear G Herbo like make that complete album.
Yeah.
Like I just want that complete album from him. I think he just really needs to get with a dope A&R. G Herbo and Sycamore, out of here.
Yeah.
G Herbo and Brock, A&R Interscope, out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to kind of see that and then see what happens from there.
I feel like the Who Run It freestyle kind of paved the way for this whole mixtape project.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a project without the Who Run It freestyle.
It would be nothing.
He said it, and that's the thing. G Herbo was so honest with his music. He started that song out. He like, this shit then got the most views on anything I ever put out. Like literally, he got 1 million views on an Instagram story for a freestyle that was just him just going up to like, who was it, DJ Cosmic Kev? That's a random DJ, by the way. Like, just to go, that's not Funk Flex, that's not Felly Fel, that's not LA Leakers, that's Cosmic Kev. He went up there and torched that shit. Like, that was a real moment, and that's why I like hip hop, and I like, where, I think that's a real moment in time. Like, I think when people look back at the great radio freestyles, Jay-Z Grammy freestyle, G Herbo Who Run It freestyle, it's right up there. So.
You got to get the video component when him and his manager are like bopping back and forth.
No, that's the fucking DJ.
Oh fuck, it was the DJ. You're right.
That's why it's so dope. Cosmic Cash, shout out to you. You need a fucking Adjusto mixtape DJ award. We're gonna bring that back just for you because you brought the energy today.
Why'd they stop doing the Justo mixtape awards? I remember
that shit was getting shot up, getting dragged off stage.
Oh shit! Speaking of shot up. I hate to say that so excitedly.
Man.
It was Zone 6 Day over the weekend.
Oh my goodness, man. Nah, hey.
What the fuck is Zone 6 Day?
Shout out to East Atlanta, man. That's Zone 6 has bred some real bosses in rap and just in life. In the trap or whatever you want to call it. So like I think that's dope that they're coming together and having like a day to just celebrate the community. Like I heard that it was organized by Big Bank. 21 put up some money for it. I heard Scooter did.
Superstar Big Bank, who starred in Superfly earlier this summer.
Yeah. That's, Oscar nominated in the second.
He was great in Superfly. I think he was one of the only shining moments in that movie. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Jesus
it's funny,
Christ.
I worked on the movie and I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'll catch it. It's funny. Now
flex right there.
I worked on the movie. I did some of the marketing around that. Shout out to who was that? Universal?
It was.
They blend into.
It wasn't Universal. It wasn't Universal. Who did Superfly? I can't remember. It was like a Joel Silver production though. Was it Warner?
No, I don't think it was a Warner.
Come on, fact checker. Ken, what are you doing?
Warner for Superfly?
Yeah, look that up for us.
Columbia.
It's Columbia. Yeah, Sony. Sony.
There
yeah.
you go. Sony.
Makes sense because Epic did the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but they basically was it at a park?
Yeah, it was at a park. It was at a park in East Atlanta. It was just really. I wasn't there. I was on the ground. I talked to some people who were there. It's really just like a big picnic and like, just people coming out, driving their cars and doing whatever fuck people do at picnics. I don't know, like
with a basketball. And I feel as though like this basketball game that they had, it was covered like the whole.
That shit reminded me of basketball games in jail. I was like, yo, why the fuck is everybody like nigga? It wasn't like how usually basketball games are. It's like everybody behind the half court line.
Yeah.
Like everybody on the out of bounds line, like stand there. No, these niggas was around the key. Like literally there was no 3-point line. Like everybody was just around the key. And then you had what's the kid's name? Osiris. Yo, he looked frustrated as fuck. I seen someone hit a jumper in his eye. This nigga let out the biggest sigh of his life.
He's like, well, if they could all move out the way, maybe he looked scared. Everyone looked scared.
Not even scared. It's like he's not from Atlanta, I don't think. So it's just like, bro, I wouldn't even play in that game. Like, it ain't no winning. You're not about to walk off the court. So I don't know, man.
How do you foul 21 Savage with all the PDE right next to you? And I just looked at that video. I was like, man, I would. Number one, I didn't know Savage had moves like that.
I mean, Savage played like the best nigga at the YMCA. It wasn't like bad. I was like, oh shit, like okay, like he ain't awkward. It ain't like I watched Meek Mill and Future play the other day in jeans, and I was like, y'all niggas taking the craziest layups. But Savage was a little bit better than that. But shit. I want to see when's the next All-Star game, man? We need this real celebrity game cracking. Like last year, Snoop and 2 Chainz did it, but
and YG did one too.
Oh yeah, YG did one. I really need to see the best of the best. Like I want to see what number Savage gonna put up. I want to see what zone is YFN Lucci from, because he's actually pretty good. I think he might be from like Zone 1 or Zone 3 or something.
I think he West Side. Zone 1. I think.
Yeah, okay. Lucci actually pretty good at basketball.
Quavo, of course.
Quavo
could you get Quavo at this point?
Yeah, I mean, shit.
These two, like...
He just did the flag football game for his birthday.
Yeah. I think that, obviously, positive thing for that community as well. I don't know what happened, but apparently someone shot themselves.
We got the official press release from Young Scooter.
Hold on, we got that this morning. Hold on, let me go. Let me bring this up. So Young Scooter has been really one of the biggest supporters of Zone 6 Day.
He's the Zone 6 vice chairman, chairman of the board.
So where's that tweet at? Let me find this tweet that Scooter had. And someone basically went on his. He basically said, "Thanks to everyone who came out to Zone 6 Day. Appreciate everybody for coming out. It was a great day." Then someone said, "Nigga, it got shot up. What do you mean?" Then Young Scooter said, "Nigga shot himself. Stupid. Nobody want no fame for shooting at us. Trust me, we do magic tricks."
And man, just I saw Big Bang kind of comment on it too, like, the nigga shot himself in the ankle. He must have been dancing with his gun or something. That's a trend in the streets these days.
But be clear, Scooter has some of the best Instagram captions in the world. Like there's a caption he had just yesterday where it's him and Future's brother, which no one believes that's Future's brother, but I'm like
Casino. But if you look at Future's kids,
they look like Casino.
Kids.
Yeah, they look like Casino.
So it's his real brother. It's crazy.
So like it's Young Scooter and Casino talking, and Young Scooter he's saying, bro, he's asking for his money back, and Casino says, shit, just throw the phone out the window. That's the best advice you could ever have. Like, if I'm ever in the car with any of you motherfuckers and I see you just throw your phone out the window, I'm not asking why you did that. I already know some shit. But yeah, shout out to Zone 6 Day and everybody in Atlanta and everybody who went to Zone 6 Day. Stay safe out there. We want to see that happen again next year. For sure.
Yeah, man, let's get some sponsors involved, man. Let's go put some money in your community.
Bring Snoop out. Marvel needs to get in on that shit. They film in Atlanta every fucking day. Get Marvel in that shit. Sony films out there all the time. Walking Dead, yeah, for sure. They all film out there. TNT, TBS. Get Kenny Smith out there to commentate on the Zone 6 basketball game.
The one-on-one tournament.
Have Saw Baby out there, you know what I'm saying, in the game too. Shit. But let's get into the main crux of this episode. We're talking about N.W.A. straight out of Compton. That was a moment in kind of LA history. And at the time in 1988, we're coming off of kind of like the end of Reagan's tenure as president. We have a lot of shit going down. Iran-Contra, just a lot of like bullshit going on with politics. But also within like the micro level, you have Los Angeles in itself, and South Central in specific. It's all fucked up. Crack is reigning supreme. Gang violence is at its all-time high, and there's not really a lot of escape for people who lived in that area until you had N.W.A. and more specifically, you had Eazy-E, then you had N.W.A. At that time, it wasn't, it was kind of like unheard of for the West Coast to really have a stranglehold on music as it did, because all it was really known for was like funk and G-funk and shit like that. Kind of like N.W.A. went left of that.
Yeah, I think it's funny. The West Coast music early on was known for it was like dance music.
Yeah,
you had it was like the stepchild of disco almost. Like you kind of had the shiny suits, but then it was the harder beats, and like people really just going to like the club and dancing, having dance offs, and like L.A. and not even L.A. but just West Coast hip hop wasn't established yet. Mm-hmm. So I think, when N.W.A. came into the picture and what they brought was like, it was showcasing, real West Coast gangster rap, but it also had a political twist. And I think that was really like dope about their music and something that I really appreciated about it. Like, besides all the shit that was like scary about the music, it was super political. And it really just spoke for, the gangster rapper who really was wondering why. Yeah. Like, why am I in this? Why is this going on? Like, why are my circumstances like this? And it was also like, why is this happening? But why am I doing this? And I think that was the biggest thing that you could take away from it. Now, in 1988, I was only 1 year old. Josh, you were not even a twinkle in anyone's eye. Cam, you were nothing. you were nowhere. You were. When were you born, Cam?
95.
Jesus Christ.
My parents were still in high school in 88. They were freshmen.
Damn. You came out the year the PlayStation came out.
Yeah.
That shit's insane.
That's wild. Man, so my parents are still in high school. I'm like, fuck.
Niggas is old. But I think a lot. I don't think that I not gained an appreciation, but I don't think I knew what Straight Outta Compton was. It's gonna be funny as shit. I didn't know what it was till CB4 came out, and that's the Chris Rock kind of This Is Spinal Tap movie where it kind of references N.W.A. obliquely. It was kind of like a comedy movie about the rise and fall of N.W.A. With Straight Outta Low Cash and CB4, that whole group. And then I went back and listened to N.W.A. and I was like, that's where all this shit is coming from. And at that point, I was like, this doesn't sound like anything from the West Coast. It's not. There's no guitars, there's no funk. It sounded like Bomb Squad, Boogie Down production stuff, which is interesting and ironic because Dre samples a lot of that on the album. What did you think of in Straight Outta Compton when you first heard it, or what age did you hear that?
I'm trying to think when I first heard it. I mean, it's funny just growing up in LA, like that shit. You hear it when you get in the first. Like I've heard it when I was one, probably. Yeah. Like honestly, like so I can't really say when I first heard it. I think the first time I really sat down and was like, yo, I'm about to listen to N.W.A.'s first album. I probably was in like maybe like 5th or 6th grade. Mm-hmm. And I just remember it so vividly because I think they re-released it at Target or something like that, and I ended up just going and like stealing it. I stole that in like a Young Guns album.
Wait, which Young Guns album was that? Was that Brotherly Love?
Tough Love.
Tough Love.
Yeah. So this must have been 2004.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just remember like stuff in this. I remember it was 6th grade. Now that I think about it, I just remember like I was at the Target and I was like, all right, I'm about to grab some CDs. And it was N.W.A. and it was Young Guns. I was like, all right.
You pulled a flock on Target. That's fucked up.
I mean, shit. It wasn't the first time. It's not the last.
Boss nigga discount.
Exactly. That was the originator of the boss nigga discount. Just 5-finger swipe. But, so yeah, I listened to the album and I think for me it was just dope to be like, all right, like this is where that West Coast sound originated at. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, growing up, when I grew up, like, you had Dre and you had, like, Aftermath, or how you ushered in, like, the 50 Cents and Eminems of the world. And
it was already there. It was already there.
Exactly. And even before that, you had, like, the Death Row era. But, like, to know that, like, Dre came from this before that was really dope. And then I think the thing that stood out to me the most about that was, one, Express Yourself, which was Dre's solo song, where I believe Ren wrote. Yeah. But that song was just so strong and powerful, and I was like, okay, Dre, like, really talking about some shit, like, this is his real, like, political moment. And then, so that was, like, the first thing that stood out. And then I think the second thing that stood out to me was just, it was really that, like, yo, this music isn't the shoot 'em up, bang, bang shit that everybody told me it was. Yeah. Like, once I listened to it, I'm like, oh, shit, like, these niggas is talking about real issues, real problems, and, like...
It was insightful.
Yeah, after listening to it for me, I'm like, damn, this is damn near conscious. Like, literally, this is conscious rap. Like, it's coming from it's coming... The way they're delivering it is a very, not abusive, but abrasive, tone and manner, and just the things they're talking about are, like, they're using curse words, and they're talking about the dirtiest and grimiest shit, but... It's conscious in the base of it. Yeah. So that was something that always stuck out to me.
And then you get to, like, I Ain't the One, which is Ice Cube's solo song, when he's talking about, I ain't paying for shit. I'm not buying your weave or nothing like that. And I was just like, what? Like, that song is super, like, that shit did not age well. You can't make a song like that today. But I really appreciated Straight Outta Compton, or I still appreciate it to this day, for, at the time, being incendiary to things that people didn't really talk about. Because hip-hop was still... primarily like a dance party type genre. And then you had this come out and it's like it's right next to the Public Enemies, and it's like, okay, there is a solid subgenre here where it's like, okay, it's truth telling. And I think a lot of people at that time heard of that. I remember Chris Rock saying that he went to the West Coast and he got Straight Outta Compton when he was filming one time and brought it back to New York. And from that moment, everybody was like, oh, shit, this is how it really is out there. It was kind of like, it was like a window into what Los Angeles was like. And I remember Sinead O'Connor said it was the best hip-hop album she's ever heard of, in her life.
I mean, I believe it because, like, before that album, people thought California was surfboards and palm trees. So it's like to see that there was a real, like, there's really shit going on in the ghetto. Like, and then you had a voice as strong and prolific as Ice Cube, like, really, like, laying it out, like, yo, police are harassing us. Like, they're putting drugs in our city. Like, they're the reason why shit's like this. Like, that shit was just, it was super powerful and super on point.
And I'd say the biggest legacy behind the album to me was it kind of ushered in death row in a lot of ways. I feel as though if N.W.A. stays together and Cube doesn't leave, there's no death row.
Oh, without a doubt. I think even Usher in Death Row was dope, but for me, it was Eazy-E.
Yeah.
When I look back at great music executives, it starts at Eazy-E for me, and then it goes to a Dame Dash or whoever, Birdman. But it starts at Eazy-E. He was the original for all these guys, and I think me and you spoke about great Travis Scott being a great executive producer. Eazy-E was just a great executive. He had a vision for this music. He had air for the music. He had a voice for it, and just a charisma. Yeah, it's that's 90% of the game. I've noticed is just I'm rising in the ranks of just the music industry and just having a career in this business. It's all about charisma and which you can make people feel.
And there isn't a better look to me still to this day. The N.W.A. as a whole, but just Eazy-E being at the middle of that, and the sunglasses, the jacket, the all black, everything from that look was it was carefully curated, and that it was we wanted to look militant, but we also still wanted to look hood, the Raider jackets and the Raider hats. It was that is a look that to me timeless. In the hip hop, there aren't a lot of timeless. Well, I would say there are timeless, shiny suits, obviously, but it's when you think about that, you don't think of the shiny suits first. You think of what N.W.A., what that looked like first. Yeah. And I think that legacy ushered everything in. It's from there, it was militant rap became kind of cool. It became cool to have rap with a message. And, I mean, today we might not hear a lot of that. Or actually, I won't even say that. I say there's a lot of artists today that still kind of do that. J. Cole does it.
Yeah, no, you definitely have, but I think it's not shocking because now it's we have the internet. We've been telling this story for 25 years now. This is the first person to tell this story. I think that's why people, they get it twisted. Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren, DJ Yellow were the first people to shine a light on this shit. I want to say, I was thinking of the first album to have the parental disclaimer on there. I think that was Uncle Luke, but. They're N.W.A. were some of the people who kind of ushered in that era of censoring music and being yo, these kids are saying too much
or being censored rather.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they wanted to completely ban them altogether. We'll talk about some of that when we get to we'll talk about the movie in a second. Excuse me. But another thing that Straight Outta Compton to me kind of it goes unsaid. A lot of times is how it not goes unsaid, but it goes not kind of appreciated is how integral Ice Cube was to the writing and the creation of a lot of those songs. Ice Cube is the MVP of this album, undisputedly.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's cool. See, for me, it's when I think about Ice Cube and N.W.A., I'm one of the people yo, don't forget Ren. Yeah. Because I think Ren really were I want to say Ren might have taught Ice Cube how to rap. And even though Ice Cube was a star and had the look and the voice and the charisma, I think Ren is always he wrote a lot of those songs and he really kind of wrote a lot of easy songs and really helped out. I think he wrote some shit. I think he might have wrote Express Yourself for Dre, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Ice Cube wrote that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Ice Cube wrote that.
Yeah, but I think just going back to my original point, I think Ren is one of those people who should be highlighted a little bit more in that story because even though he never became a star after the group. He was,
he's caking off of it right now. Shit, I mean, him and the DLC. Honestly, DLC also integral to Straight Outta Compton. The song's opening title and the title track from the album. One of the best openers I can think of in history. And really the story on that and Fuck the Police is that a lot of stuff in Straight Outta Compton it's still happening today, and that's the scary part about the album is that all of this shit that they're talking about is still literally happening every day on TV, every day with black people, every day, just period. Police brutality is still rampant. Drug use still rampant. Even gang shit is still rampant. And that's all stuff that they talk about on this album. Yep. One thing that did carry over, the fact that N.W.A. at the time, they used guns as kind of a character thing. It was something that they used to kind of bolster up the niggas with attitude. Tagline, dancing with guns has still happening to this day. Even way back to Smack DVD in the early 2000s, niggas have been having guns pointed at the cameras. Chief Keef had it. What was that? 2011, 2012. Chief Keef, Don't Like Video. Guns everywhere.
2011.
Rappers 2011 rappers dancing with guns is kind of like a trope now that
that's
kind of started from N.W.A.
Yeah, without a doubt, it definitely started from N.W.A. Like I was reading an article earlier, like yesterday actually, and it was they were talking about N.W.A. and just like how they had real guns in like their photo shoots and videos, and Ice Cube had the best quote. He was like, "Public Enemy uses plastic guns," you know. And it's like that's just such a real like it's like we're gonna show you what's really going on. Like it was almost like, yo, we have guns that the government put in our neighborhood. Look at this. Like we have a military gun right here on the cover of our album. Like I think that was just so dope and cool. But just kind of going back to like, you know, present day, you know, now it's like the guns in the video is just like that's needed.
Yeah.
That's like the fisheye shot, you know? like I looked at I'm a real big fan of this kid out of Florida named LPB Pootie. And,
what a name.
Yeah, it's a great name, honestly.
Is there too many new artists coming out every day?
I wouldn't say too many. I think I appreciate it. That's my job is kind of find artists. So I'm like, yeah, pop up every day, sing some shit. But it's definitely a lot of them. I think we might be running out of names.
Just start using your first and last name. I think that's the most original name you could have.
That's true. But this kid Pootie, like he has a song called "Kill the Beat," and first of all, it's filmed inside of a funeral, like home. No. And like it literally, like it's 3 minutes and 25 seconds of literally just dancing with their guns, like it's just crew, like, and it's dope. I mean, for me, it's dope to see. I think it's a cool video. Like it's like a scene where a guy pops out of a casket and he has his gun and he starts doing this little jig with it.
What is it with Florida rappers and funeral homes? Like, rest in peace. XXXTentacion, his final video, he's fighting a corpse of himself in that video who hops out of a casket as well.
Yeah, that was a wild video. I'm still trying to figure out the meaning of that video.
I believe someone said he's trying to fight his old self because it had the old look. Dreads and he had the new version of himself. And I was like, okay, cool, but there are different ways to do that than the heavy death imagery, especially coming out a week after his own death. I just thought it was real bad timing.
I mean, a little off topic, but still on topic. My very favorite funeral home music video.
Please say Cameron.
Oh, you
Love
know,
My Life.
Doubt.
Cameron, Love My Life.
Cameron, Love My Life. Without a doubt, man, I loved it.
And it had Nicole Ray in the funeral home. Then wasn't that actually that was a scene in Killer Season? They broke into a music video.
Yeah, it was.
Of the musical section of the album. Killer Season, classic movie. I wish they would just put it on Netflix already or Hulu. I'm pretty sure you could get it back. Well, he'd have to clear that music. But it's on Apple Music now, so he probably doesn't have to clear that. But rappers dancing with guns, still a huge trope. I still think that it's a bad trope because obviously you don't want to have to carry that on to if you get an actual gun charge and you're in the court and they pull out a TV like the old VCR they used to use when you had movie day in class and say, well, allow me to show you Exhibit A, this video on World Star before he became a world famous rapper where he was doing a fucking Cabbage Patch with an AR. So it's like you don't want to be like that rapper.
I mean, I think you don't want to be that rapper, but I think the guns in the video is just like it's indicative of the society they come from. Yeah. And like I think that's the thing that needs to be. I think if artists weren't, I mean, now it's just become a joke damn near where everybody has a gun in their video, and it's like I guess it's a menacing thing. But I wish it was like more so like, yo, this is for survival. Like I have this for a reason. Yeah. Because I've talked to like a lot of young artists, and it's like that come from these areas where it's like, yo, I need to have a gun, and like that shit is like not a joke. Like it's like, yo, I really need this to survive.
What's the dancing for, man?
The dance is just, I don't know, man.
Just like, what's the dancing for?
I can't call it, man. I think they're just, happy to be alive.
We need to have Joe Budden do a investigative piece on rappers dancing with guns. He is a detective. Have you listened to his podcast in the past month?
I have. I listened to. It's funny. It's
stellar.
He made me a fan when he did the whole
the Scorpion.
Yeah, he broke down Scorpion, but in particular, what's the song where he talks about Georgia?
Jaded.
Jaded. When he broke down Jaded, the funniest shit to me about that, and I laugh every time I hear this song, is when he says, when Drake was like, opens it up, he's like, girls on this side, girls on this side. And Joe Budden's like, yeah, on that side. See, he means like overseas. Like, he really broke that down. Like, damn, like he really meant bitches overseas.
He's better to me. He's better than Genius.
Oh,
like he broke it down better than Genius.
Yeah.
Like I even
8 out of 10, every song on there, he was
broke it all the way down. I really need him to have his own investigative TV show where he opens up on like remember like the old DVD series Beef that QD3 made. Oh, yeah. He needs to break down beefs and break down all of. I'm this is free game. I'm not going to continue this, but I think Joe Budden's podcast is like a stellar listen, and I think that to me he's a better pundit to me than he ever was like a real musician. Like I was never really a huge fan of his. He's a better pundit to me. Like new music too never moved me.
Yeah, he knows his shit. That's right.
Yeah, he knows his shit. Of course he knows.
No, I think that's why he's so good because it's like he's in the inside.
Exactly.
So Joe Budden, continue doing what you're doing. I'm a huge fan. I think that the funniest thing about the Jaded episode to me was when he said, "You fell for that," and he starts like laughing. I was just like, "Damn, that shit was fucking hilarious." But more on Straight Outta Compton, the movie in 2015. That was like its own thing at that point. They were like saying you can't bring bags into it, like out here. They were like, you can't bring a bag into the movie.
I remember when I went to see it in New Orleans.
Yes.
They did fucking like pat downs and shit.
They had extra security.
Shit like that. I'm trying to think, what did I see it? I think I just...
they didn't do it for the Tupac movie.
They did.
They did it for Straight Outta Compton. They were afraid it was going to be like a race war or something like that broke out.
I mean, shit. It's funny. Like, I think it goes back to what it was. Like, when N.W.A came out, they showed that, like, yo, this is shit really going on, happening in our community. And, like... Now the movie put that on the big screen and showed them again and gave them the gloss version of it, of course. But like it was like, yo, like this is what y'all did.
Yeah.
White people, like this is what y'all did. So like I understand, like at the time when the movie came out, they was like, yo, you did this, so come to the movie theater at your own risk. We're gonna pat niggas down, but still, you might get gun butt on the way out.
But this was a movie that in 2015 it kind of. People were waiting for it. It had a huge marketing push. It had the straight out of blank Instagram caption thing, Instagram picture thing that I think everyone did at that point. Beats had a huge campaign behind it. The soundtrack came with the Dr. Dre soundtrack. It was complete 180 from what the original album was. It's in terms of actual reception. Everyone was waiting for this movie, and they had so many accolades at the time. And I think when I saw it, I was like. I was left a little cold from it.
For me, I think I liked the movie. I thought it was a good representation of N.W.A. and hip hop. Like I think we don't get that many shots, which is seen by the Tupac movie. Yeah. So it's like once we get a shot to get a big budget, a big movie out there and do it right, like we might have to omit some critical scenes just to get this out there. And I think a lot of people were kind of mad that the whole D Barnes thing wasn't in the movie, and it should have been, but it's like at the end of the day, like what, we need that shot.
At the end of the day, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre were consultants on that movie. There's no way that scene's making it. If there's a scene without their blessing, if this is a movie without their blessing, that scene's making it in for sure. I mean, even Jerry Heller, the manager, I think that we haven't even really spoke about Heller and his contribution, so to speak, to N.W.A. But he sued them for saying that they took parts of his autobiography without his permission. Jerry Heller. What would you say? Is he like the Leo Cohen of the time?
Oh wow. Yeah. No, I mean, I can't. I he was a white man who saw opportunity.
Yeah.
And I at the end of the day, Eazy-E saw an opportunity in that white man. So like I think it was a give and take situation, and like ultimately the relationship deteriorated, and it wasn't. It kind of ended in a weird place.
Yeah.
But there were two entities that needed each other at the time, and like that's just how it worked out. Like I think I'm not mad at Jerry Heller. I don't think he like took advantage of the culture or anything like that. I just think he saw an opportunity and Eazy saw opportunity in him, and they met.
I think that it's funny that one thing in the movie that still sticks out to me when I said I let out a big fuck out of here in the theater when I saw it, when Eazy-E was driving and he sees the Chronic billboard.
Oh yeah.
And he stops and looks at it. and it's like so dramatic and like movie like, and I'm just like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I love that shit. Honestly, and I mean, this is coming from a guy. I mean, I'm an Eazy fan, so it is what it is. I will say the way Eazy was portrayed towards the end of the movie kind of tried to make him look like a sucker, and I wasn't cool with that. But you know, it is what it is.
Oh, he was absolutely honestly, Eazy got AIDS in the movie like out of thin air.
He started coughing, and then the nigga he was in the hospital.
Yeah, like the AIDS thing was weird to me.
Well, another thing that was weird to me was the scene in New York where they saw, who did they see in the club? Cube in the club.
When they had like Squash the Beat.
Yeah, it was like Bone Thugs.
Yeah, Bone Thugs. He was with them.
Yeah, that was a weird scene to me. I just was like,
that didn't happen.
I think I heard something similar like that. It might have happened, but it came off weird in the movie.
The wildest scene was Tupac recording fucking.
Oh, Lakeith Stanfield.
Illuminati.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was What the fuck? The timeline was fucked up. That whole shit.
But everything, I mean, as a whole, I felt like it was well made. I think more than F. Gary Gray, you can't, he's one of the best directors to me of movies like this, I'll say. But I think that just looking back on it, I don't know if the movie to me aged well. Like the last scene in the movie is when Suge doesn't beat Dre's ass, and he turns around and says, "I'm starting a new label." He's like, "What are you gonna call this shit?" With Aftermath, and then it's over, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. This is some Avengers shit. Like, this movie is literally like the hip hop version of a Marvel movie, because a lot of this shit is like the show in Detroit where they do fuck the police and they got run off. I'm just like, no, that shit didn't happen.
Well, I heard some shit like that happen. Like, it's funny, like the story. I heard like these stories kind of happen, but like they're embellished, of course.
They moviefied it.
Yeah, like the scene in the hotel. Like with the girls and stuff, I heard that really happened.
With By Felicia?
Exactly.
I don't know if it's that long, but I mean, I heard that happen with some, I heard that from some of my OGs.
That's believable though too. Like that was a believable scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, the By Felicia shit.
By Felicia shit did not happen.
I mean, that didn't happen. Niggas delivered a scene from a movie he wrote.
Oh, when he's writing Friday. When he's writing Friday, that shit was crazy. When he's writing Friday, I was like, all right, this movie's getting a little bit too BET for me right now. But I thought O'Shea Jackson Jr. was, to me, the standout of that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's playing his dad. He's been around for like all his life.
But just like him.
Do you think a hip hop story? I mean, we're saying this a year removed from All Eyes on Me, but do you think a hip hop story like this can ever be told again? Like realistically, in that way, like what story could be told? Like
as well as they did it.
As well as they did. Could a Cash Money
I was
movie?
To say maybe Cash Money.
Man, if it's a Cash Money movie, I need the real movie.
But they probably.
I need it.
Say it's probably gonna be a little sugar coated as well.
They're gonna make
the Lil Wayne movie. It's off the chains, bruh. BG doing heroin like 14.
Crazy.
Wayne getting shot, getting rescued by the police officer.
Turk going to prison.
Oh my god, that would be the greatest movie.
I mean, just the shooting of the Bling Bling video alone.
Juvenile losing the ring. Somebody going and diving under for it.
When they had that show where Birdman was like, I fuck with niggas too. They got to do that show.
I don't know about that shit. Never heard of it.
Bring these real niggas on stage.
They been fucking with a nigga all night. They got to do that shit in the movie. I think a Cash Money Before Everything movie needs to happen in the next decade. But it has to be, like, Wayne obviously has to give his permission. Do you think at that point, like, Wayne would be like, yes, I will? Because, like, it's going to be a weird movie because Birdman's going to want to tell his side and Wayne's going to want to tell his side. And I don't know what's going to congeal and actually happen when that happens.
I mean, my thing is, it has to be for me, it's the Lil Wayne story. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I think
because everyone else kind of falls off.
Yeah,
he's the only one that
stays.
stays.
And it's like even when he stays, you see, like, the later end of Lil Wayne's career, the seizures, the kids, the skating, like all this shit is a piece of his story that needs to be told. Yeah. Like, I want to know what's going on in his mind, and like, I think that's why it's more important to tell his story. I think
the feud, really.
Yeah, the feud, all this shit. Even his relationship with Birdman, like, that's just a story that hasn't been told. Like, there's not even an interview where they're like, yo,
this is what happened.
Yeah, or this is why I feel like this. So I'm waiting for that to be told. I think that's the most exciting hip-hop story that hasn't been told yet.
Or Bad Boy. It's I don't think Bad Boy story is like interesting though.
It's not that interesting.
I've seen people say the same about Rockefeller, and I don't necessarily feel like they're.
Yeah,
Rockefeller's not interesting. You know why it's not interesting? Because we've seen it.
Yeah.
Unless you get Dame Dash story.
Yeah.
Then it's like, all right, because like the Jay-Z story is like, nigga, I've been on. Like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He never had any losses.
Yeah, so it's like the Dame Dash story. There's like peaks and valleys to it, you know. So there's a conflict with Jay. There's like him losing his star rapper. Like that's a lot.
Losing Kanye, losing the upcoming star rapper that he had.
Yeah, grabbing Kanye, grabbing Cam, losing all of that. Like that's a story. So I would love to see that.
Oh damn! You got me one like the Cash Money. Like who the fuck would play Birdman in that movie?
Man, I don't know.
That would be that's like a star making turn. That shit would be crazy. You got to get Jordan Peele to play Birdman.
That's a good. I was thinking like who's like a heavy set like
who Faison Love.
No,
he's too old.
Yeah,
he's too old because he has to be young.
Even like not Forrest Whitaker.
Not Forrest Whitaker. No, he could probably play. No, he could play Slim. Forrest Whitaker could play Slim.
They got the same eye.
Yeah, he got the same eye. Dog, he could play Slim. We gotta cast this bird. We're gonna put that on RNC's Twitter. Fan cast the Cash Money movie, and tell us who you'd have in there. We gotta get that. We gotta get Blavity on the job. Fan cast that shit. But yeah, Straight Outta Compton, a great album that led to so much. Is it a perfect album?
I mean, I can't call it a perfect album just because, like...
You don't believe in perfect albums.
Yeah, I really don't. And I think a perfect album, like, the only way an album could be perfect to you is if you grew up when the album came out.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, it's a feeling, it's a moment. Like, I'm pretty sure cars was bumping N.W.A. Like, it's a different environment when you're raised around the album and shit like that. So I can't really call it a perfect album. But, it's a great album. It's up there. It's a classic.
You stole it.
Shit. Yeah, it's a classic. I'll without a doubt call it a classic.
I agree. Completely agree. It's a classic album. But with money on the phone for Josh. Money on the phone.
It's the work week, man. It's Monday.
Money on the phone, motherfucker. But yeah, I think absolutely a great album. And it's been a great moment here sitting with Josh and talking about the experience of growing up around Straight Outta Compton. And being able to listen to it and what it's kind of grown and what is bred in our individual lives. And for that, I have to say, this is yet another episode of RNC Radio. Josh, thanks for coming back on the show.
We back.
I guess I'll see you again in December.
Nah, man. That'll be my birthday episode. We'll be at Follies.
Are you going to Atlanta for your birthday this year?
Nah, crazy as it may be, I might be going to Minnesota for my birthday.
For what? Wow. Oh, for to see Prince.
Yes.
My mom went to Minnesota last month, and she went to the Prince tour.
Oh yeah, that's bro. If you go on a Tuesday or a Sunday, and I think my birthday falls on a Sunday this year, you could pay like extra and go into one of his studios and record background vocals.
No.
So I will be doing that.
What are you gonna say?
I will record whatever's on the sheet.
She's crying. Like she said that when she walked into Prince's house, there's a big. Like there's a diorama of the house at the top of the ceiling. Yeah. It's actually where his ashes are.
Oh shit!
So when you walk into it, and then she said like they have napkins like on the table, and she's like, "Why are there napkins there?" She's like, "I guess people must be walking out crying."
Oh,
but wow. She said that people, as soon as they tell you what it is, everyone in her group started bawling. Like they started crying. That's what the napkins are for. Because you see there's like words written there, there's pictures of him, there's pictures of his family in the actual diorama of the house.
Damn. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really fucking crazy. So Minnesota, definitely check out the Prince tour. You went to the Jamaica also.
Oh yeah, I just came back. That shit was amazing, man. I'm going back soon. I went to Jamaica and I actually went to Bob Marley's mausoleum, like where he's buried. Cause he's buried at his old, like the house he grew up in.
Yeah.
Him and his mom are buried together. And I ended up going through like seeing his like tomb and like walking in, smoked a blunt there. Shit was dope. No, they encourage smoking like that. It's funny how much weed is a part of the Jamaican culture and just like how much Bob Marley is a part of Jamaica's culture. Yeah. So like, yeah, they let you smoke there. I actually left like a bandana that my cousin who passed away had like gave me. He was like a big Bob Marley fan.
That's dope.
He had like gave me a bandana. I had this shit for like 10 years, I feel like. And I don't know why. Like I was in there, and I just like, they were like, oh yeah, you can leave something. And I didn't bring anything to leave. Yeah. And I had that in my pocket because I carry it everywhere with me, and I was just inclined to just leave it. So I just.
That's huge.
Yeah. So
that's really big to kind of like let go of that piece to something that was also equally as big in that place. But you had some excellent pictures from there as well. I must say.
Oh yeah, I had to do it big.
My man Josh had the chancletas with no socks on, bro.
Bro, we had the dinner on the beach. We was on the river, on the raft. Niggas is cutting coconut out the tree for us. Shit was wild, bro. That was a real vibe out there.
Out of town with Josh Pease. Coming soon, brother. But once again, thank you for being on the show again. I don't even know why I'm thanking you because this is your show as well.
Yeah, it's my fucking show.
We'll be here. we'll be back.
We'll be back in
2 weeks.
Folks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. RNC Radio is officially back. Wednesdays you can check us out on RNC Radio. We have a complete slate of shows. This week alone, we have the A Show. Of course, we have this show as well. And we have The Perfect Play on Friday. And we also have a new episode of Late Fees where we're talking about Will Smith and some of his best and worst movies on that episode as well. It's an episode you will not want to miss. So RNC Radio this week, and just for the foreseeable future, is stacked and packed because we also have new shows coming as well. We got to talk to Cliff, man, because Cliff said Labor Day on this very show that was our last episode. It was the Cliff episode.
Oh yeah, it was a Cliff episode.
It was a Cliff episode. He said on that very episode, Labor Day,
it's here.
Cooking with Cliff show. It's coming, so we're gonna have to call Cliff and see if he's actually gonna do that shit. So Cliff, we on your ass, buddy. Until next time, for RNC Radio, I'm Justin for Josh and Cam. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.